I want you to imagine that you finally became a full-time online coach. You have the perfect working routine, you're making money with your business, and you have a balance with your time and your relationships. Most importantly, you have the freedom to set up your schedule however you want to set it. As a matter of fact, the whole point of you wanting to become an online fitness coach was to have the money and freedom. The freedom to work where you want, the freedom to travel, and the freedom to spend life on your own terms. However, what I found is that with that freedom comes responsibility. The biggest challenge I see all the time with all the coaches is that they don't know how to structure their working day to get the most from it. At the end of your working day, you should feel accomplished because you've dotted all of your I's and crossed all of your T's. The challenge is most coaches don't know what I's to dot or what T's to cross. So come along with me as I take you on a day in the life of an online fitness coach. When I was an online fitness coach, I had 5 goals every day: post content, make a sale, work out, track my macros, and spend time with my significant other. I needed to post content because that was the marketing aspect of the business. I knew that you could have the best coaching program in the world, but no one will ever buy your coaching program if they don't know who you are. So this is why marketing was extremely important. Next, I needed to make sure that I made a sale for the business. Number 1, because I needed money. And number 2 is because sales is a lifeline of your business. The next thing that I needed to do was to work out. Me working out was me simply taking care of myself. I also used that time to get some content into. I'll share a little bit more about how I did that in just a second. Number 4 on my list was to track my macros. Once again, this is me taking care of myself to make sure that I look the part as a personal trainer that is going to help others also look the part. The last thing I knew that I must get done for the day was to spend time with my significant other. If I didn't do that, I would just be a shitty boyfriend. So I made sure to work that into the schedule. I knew that if I could do at least one of those things on a daily basis, that would naturally be a win. So my goal was to structure my day to include all of those things that made my day a win into my routine so that every day could be a win no matter what. This is how I became a winner. My winning days turned into winning weeks, that turned into winning months, that turned into winning quarters, and also winning years. And that compounded over a period of time, and I just stay in this vibration of winning. My work day would start no later than 6:30. The first thing I would do in the morning is wake up, hydrate, and then get straight to work. I own a walking pad, so I start my mornings off with a walk, put some good music on, and then dive right into the DMs. The walking pad helps me get my steps in for the day. It also helps me get into flow, and it also sets the tone for the rest of the day. When I didn't have a walking pad, I would go outside and spend my mornings on a walk. The first line of work is always going to be to get in the DMs and pick up conversations from the previous night. The purpose of this was to book calls with potential leads and make sales for the business. If there were no conversations to continue, I would use that time to start conversations with anybody that liked, commented, or watched my stories, or even followed me from the day. For me, I personally view Instagram as a business, and I treat my page as if it were a storefront. So when people come into my store, I try my best to greet everyone in and acknowledge them. So with that being said, starting conversations is one of the most important things you can do for your business because your income is directly correlated to how many people you talk to per day. It's simple. The more people you talk with, the more chances of you making a sale. By 8 o'clock, I was seated at my desk, looking over my numbers from yesterday and also updating my tracking sheet. The tracking sheet highlights the activities that I do in the business. For instance, did I make any sales yesterday? Did I post on social media? Did I book any calls? These activities are called your money generating activities for the business. Updating the tracking sheet gives me my data for the day and allows me to see what I need to do in order to stay on track for the day. For instance, if I didn't post yesterday, my goal today would be to make sure that I post so I don't fill in my tracker with any zeros. After reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, I try my best to not miss 2 days in a row. 1 day is okay, but try to get back on track within 2 days. After writing out my goals for the day, I would then spend some time editing programs, talking with my clients, or updating nutrition plans. By 10 o'clock, I would stop to eat breakfast. Now, pay attention closely. As I'm cooking breakfast, I'm setting up my tripod for behind the scenes content for my stories. I needed to make sure that I posted on my stories so I can be social on social media and also to start organic conversations for the day. Then I would eat my breakfast, post on my stories, relax a little bit, scroll a little bit, and then get ready for the gym. At 11 o'clock, it would be time to train. I would train for 1 hour and 15 minutes. At the peak of my workout, that's when I would get some content while I still had a solid pump going. So I would set up my tripod, find some good lighting, and do a couple of moves so that I could post on my social media or just get some B-roll content for that day. I'm home by 12:30. I would then down some protein, change clothes, and then get right into the next part of my working day, which started at 2 o'clock. I would do a 10 to 20 minute meditation and then get right into it. I would spend the first 30 minutes of the second half of my day in the DMs again to get back to people, and then spend the next hour and a half editing my content from the day that I just took at the gym. So the content that I made at the gym, I would go ahead and immediately edit it and then schedule it out so that it can post automatically for the week. This process took a lot of stress off of my hands because my content started to go out automatically, so I didn't have to think about posting content. The marketing took place of itself when I started to put more automations in my systems. From 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, I would leave open for sales calls. This is where I actually made money for the business. And days I didn't have any sales calls, I would use that time to work a little bit more on either content or make free guides for my clients or potential leads. My first goal with my business sales wise was to make 1 sale per week. And then I doubled down on that goal and I changed that goal to try to make 1 sale per day. At first, the thought of making 1 sale per day, it excited me and also made me very nervous and afraid at the same time because I didn't think I could have the capacity for it. I didn't know exactly what it would take for me to get to 1 sale every day. But I will say that I set my intention to at least have 1 sale per week. And once I really figured out what I needed to do on a daily basis to get sales, I then just doubled down on what I was doing so I can get more and more and more sales. One key thing that I made sure to do was create space on my calendar for sales to happen. So from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock was the time that I knew that regardless, if I had the perfect schedule, the perfect working day, I would take calls at this time because between 4 and 8 o'clock is when people are home from work, people are done for the day, and we can have a decent conversation without being rushed off the phone. From 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I would have dinner and spend some quality time. At 10 o'clock is when I'm in bed. At 10:15 is when I was writing out my goals. And at 10:30, I would put my eye mask on and then I would be out for the night. At the end of that day, I would have worked out, hit my macros, closed at least 1 deal or booked a new call for the week, and posted content automatically, and also spent time with my girlfriend, right? I mastered that workflow. Now, you personally don't have to do everything on this list and in this order, but you do need to make sure that you get everything done that you need to get done in a day's time. And you also need to make sure that you're doing it without feeling stressed or overwhelmed. The easiest way to do this is by creating your dream schedule for yourself. In a perfect world, what would your perfect day be like? Living the dream and doing everything you need to do to become successful in your business. First, you need to define what a successful day or a winning day will look like for you. I want you to ask yourself the question, if I only had to do a couple of things every day to really run my business, what would those things be? Write it out and then try it out. Actually plug the events into your calendar on your phone and use alarms to transition you from task to task. If you don't have a list, then use mine. Once again, here is my list. At the end of the day, I felt really satisfied if I worked out, if I hit my macros, if I closed at least one deal or booked a new call for the week, if I posted content automatically, and if I spent time with my significant other. If your perfect day isn't perfect at the beginning, that's totally fine. That just gives us an opportunity to try again the next day and to figure out how we can make the next day better. And all we have to do is just simply try again tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next week and the next month until you eventually get it, right? And the coolest thing about this whole process is that when you have perfect days in your business, the business runs automatically and you don't have to stress about the big core elements. You're just having fun and being in flow. If you're a fitness coach that wants to take your business online and scale your business to 6 figures within 6 months or less, then I highly suggest you check out the links in the description of this video and watch the full 45-minute masterclass video. If you like what you see and you like what you hear from that video, then you'll have an opportunity to schedule a free 45-minute strategy call with myself and our team. We'll get on the phone with you, create a step-by-step game plan for you. We'll hear more about your goals, talk about your challenges of what you're currently facing, and then strategize a plan of action for your business. Check out the links below and let's get to work. And also let me know down in the comments if you felt like this perfect day was valuable for you. And if you would try it, let me know. See you next week.